Welcome to We Geek Podcast. Today is August 5th, Wednesday, of course, and my name is Adam, here with my good friend Logan.
Hello.
What up, man? And, man, it's been a busy week.
Yeah, big time.
Oh, yeah, a lot of news, some movie news, got some trailers, some reviews for you. I know you went and saw a movie that I'm kind of shocked about, but we'll get to that in a little bit.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah, got some comic stuff. Now, I read a lot of comics last week. This week I didn't as much. I've been kind of obsessed with a video game that we'll get into in a little bit. Man, the hooks are in. They're just
Yeah.
But I've read some Secret War stuff I'll talk about. But yeah, man. How was your week? How was it since we last talked to you?
I work, man. It's been crazy until we're trying to get new people in there to help cut down. But I mean, I'm 6 on and 1 off. They called last week and they're like, we need you to work. I'm like, I'm not working 2 weeks straight. No.
Yeah, man, dude, I hear you. Not to kind of get into what I do, but I just got I'm back to my hours were kind of cut before, but now I'm back full time. I have a new schedule. I have a new supervisor, manager, and what's cool actually is I got my new manager. He messages me, and I haven't met him or anything. I actually work from home, and I'm talking to him, getting to know him. We're gonna do a video chat and whatnot. And I see a little icon on his messenger, and I'm like, that looks extremely familiar. That's not, it's nothing to do with the company I work for, nothing to do with technology or anything, but it kind of looks funny. And I ask him, I'm like, is that from Destiny? And he goes, yeah, man, I'm a huge Destiny fan. And I was just like, oh, this is gonna be great, So immediately we kind of hit it off, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm playing Iron Banner. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. We talked about that for 5 or 10 minutes, and it was really cool to kind of connect that way immediately with a new manager or supervisor, because that's kind of important, you don't want to start off on the wrong foot.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah, so I was like, all right, this is cool, because I gotta say, the last person I had her for a while. She probably one of the best I've ever had. She was just a great manager. I loved her skills, her managing skills, and everything else. So I mean, hope he can be like that too. But it was just cool. It was a cool little geek moment where I was like, yes, that is so awesome. But yeah, man, I've just been busy too, like I said, with the new schedule.
Yeah, nice.
I didn't really get a chance to go out and see Mission Impossible like I said I would. But I am absolutely going to the movie theater this week, and I got a few people that want to go see Fantastic Four. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go see that and Mission Impossible.
It looks like you're going to be 1 for 2.
Yeah, that's what I hear.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I hear. I mean, that's kind of what we expect from it, right?
Yeah, I mean, when they hired, I've already forgotten his name, who did Chronicle, to direct it, I thought, well, maybe that means Fox is going to start trusting their filmmakers more, and it turns out, no.
Right.
That's
what I hear. But yeah, man, I am. One thing we will talk about later is the. Well, actually, we can get into it right now. Let's talk about the Deadpool trailer. What did you think of because it came out as a teaser, and then it literally just came out before we started the cast.
Yeah, the minute before we got ready to record.
Oh yeah. My favorite line was the 5-time Academy Award watcher or viewer. That's it.
Yeah.
That was great. I'm like, I will forever say that now.
Yeah, the teaser was neat because I'm like, it's such a Deadpool thing to do, Look, this is the thing. Either you're a Deadpool fan or you're not. But this is what you're gonna get, and this kind of surprises me. And I think that it's part of Fox distancing themselves. I think they're kind of like, yeah, we're doing this, but we want to talk about these movies that aren't R-rated or whatever. These are things that are going to make money over here because they cost a lot of money. But something, Deadpool is going to be exactly what people want it to be. It really does look like it. And I'm like, do that with the rest of your crap, man.
Exactly. Like that see here, that's the strangest thing. Deadpool looks like, and I don't want to say Marvel made it because they didn't, and Marvel wouldn't go R-rated, but it looks so authentic to the comic book that's honestly the most anticipated Fox movie in the comic book, their comic world that I'm interested in. Fantastic Four, I'm not. I'm gonna go see it because we're gonna go see it.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna go see the new X-Men. I'm gonna go see Gambit. He's back into it. But Deadpool, after seeing the trailer, and granted we did see bits and pieces during Comic-Con, but seeing it in full HD, seeing Ryan Reynolds in the role and just the comedy beats, it's perfect. It's Deadpool, and like you said, like him or not, it's authentic.
Yeah.
He looks just like Deadpool. They could have tried to make it more realistic. They realize their mistakes, and they talk about it, in the teaser.
Yeah.
For some reason they showed my fucking mouth shut. Like, that's it's like, hello, you're speaking to yourself. Like, you're right. Like, you need to go and do that. So that's great that they're nailing Deadpool. And you're right. If they could do that with their X-Men, do that with their Fantastic Four, give the people what they want. Make it new, make it cool, make it different, but that feels like, okay, I'm in. And like you said, I'm not even that big of a Deadpool fan in the comic book, but you have Ryan Reynolds, you have the comedy, and to me that might actually play better on film than it does in a comic book.
Oh, totally. Yeah, because what I love is like the first time somebody calls him on it. Somebody's gonna be like, "Who in the hell are you talking to?"
Yeah.
And because he's just gonna point straight at the camera and he's gonna go, "Everybody in that theater."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And I was just explaining to my buddy, we before we hopped on, I sent him the trailer to my group chat, and he was like, "Who's Deadpool? I don't know much about him." He's pretty much like the common person who just seen pictures of him, they've seen his image, they don't really know what he's about. They're like, "Is he just funny?" And I'm like, "Yeah, that's a part of him. He's got a lot more to him than that." And so I kind of went into it that basically his gimmick is he's Wolverine. He doesn't have the adamantium claws. He doesn't have the adamantium skeleton. He's funny, and from what I understand in the comic, he had cancer, and that screwed up his mutation gene to the point where it made his body just look like he had cancer for 80 years or whatever. So it made it, just that's why he wears the suit. And I didn't get too much into it. I'm like, he breaks the fourth wall. He's very self-aware of the audience. And everyone thinks he's crazy, but as a reader, you're like, oh, I get it. Like he's just the only one that gets it.
Yeah.
And so that makes him crazy in his world. So I was like, and they were like, that's cool. Like, the first thing they said was, I'm really glad we're gonna get more of. They're gonna try like an adult-rated, comic book film. And he's the perfect character to do with it. You don't want to do a Beast movie rated R, like it's not needed. You know what I mean? Like, but Deadpool is perfect. Wolverine would be cool too. You know what I mean? But Deadpool is more, okay, I'm in with that. Like, that makes sense. But yeah, so I thought it was cool. I'm sorry, I've been talking. You go ahead.
No, man. I mean, you hit all the same points I would. Like it's there aren't a lot of characters you could do like a Marvel Max movie about. And, you can't do Wolverine because he has a built-in base already. And, here's the thing. You can't take an established character that kids already like and throw him in an R-rated movie. That's just, that doesn't work.
Throwing money away.
Yeah, exactly. So you do it with a new character, and you do it with one that's going to attract exactly the audience that this is one where there's no confusion. Who is this for? It's for exactly the crowd that it's for. Right. You're not going to get a lot of crossover appeal here.
And honestly, this is the kind of film that if I was 16 years old, can parents bring parents can bring a 16-year-old into film, right? Anyone over 13?
Parents can bring whoever they want.
That's right. Okay, so this is the kind of film I'm trying to think. If I'm 16 years old and I'm in high school, this is the kind of film that I could. Of course, you try to go with your friends and stuff, but this is kind of the film I could talk my parents and be like, "Let's go see Deadpool." They would not be like, "Oh, well, I guess I shouldn't use me as an example because my parents probably wouldn't care to begin with." But but they would. This is one they would be like, "Okay, what's the big deal?" They'd probably be like, "Oh, that's weird. It's rated R." I'm like, "Yeah, they cuss maybe a few times," but this is a film that I could totally see teenagers going to see anyway, because this is kind of their market. Like this, like I can't tell you how many kids I see with Deadpool stuff that just love Deadpool because of his comedy, just how it's he's kind of the Ace Ventura, I guess, of the Marvel universe. The jokes he makes.
That's not a bad analogy.
Yeah,
I guess.
It's not good. It's not good. But he's got that kind of humor where it's that perfect age range, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Is that it's that age range, that kind of humor, and that kind of the kids love it. So, but yeah, man, I'm totally in. I'm pumped for Deadpool. That's my most I'm looking forward to that more than any of the Fox films. So maybe they see that, and maybe it makes a lot of money. That'd be fantastic. Especially Ryan Reynolds in a film that's going to make a bunch of money. That's a comic book film. But I hope they see that and they're like, you know what? Maybe we should start doing the films kind of how the audience wants it.
Yeah. What a novel concept. Give the people what they want. Now, sometimes that doesn't work. I admit that.
Yeah.
But try it, and they've got a great guinea pig for it. This is the perfect movie to do that. So
yeah, and this generation of comic book films, that method works. And it's been proven over and over by Fox. I'm sorry, Marvel. And it's kind of like Ant-Man. Like you don't have to stick so close to the story. Ant-Man didn't.
No,
the age differences and whatnot, but it makes sense. It didn't feel different. It didn't feel like, oh, this is really going to offend me, like a lot of people feel about, Fantastic Four and how much they've changed, and I'm not even talking about Michael B. Jordan or any of that stuff. I'm talking about everything else, like just everything that when you feel that trailer, you're like, that doesn't look or feel like the Fantastic Four. It looks like Fox doing a dark, gritty superhero movie about the most fantastical people at Marvel, you know what I mean? The Fantastic Family.
It looks like they turned the shading down on the first time they tried it.
Exactly. And
the Fox superhero movies have always had this same. You could look at one and you could just go, "Oh, Fox made that." They've always had this kind of discernible quality about them. And the other quality is, most of them sucked, but that's kind of beside the point. But you could look at like pick an X-Men movie, any X-Men movie, and then look at the Fantastic Four, and you could say, oh yeah, that looks exactly the same. Like just the styles, they look so identical in that kind of sense, and it's just that's bad. That's the road DC looks like they might be going down. And I don't want that, because I want there to be competition. I want DC's movies to be good, because that's how you get better. Competition makes everything better. I like when Microsoft is outselling PlayStation. So what how does PlayStation step up? It breeds competition. So let DC make some good comic book movies. So Marvel's might actually have to be even better.
Right, and then the whole reason PlayStation, right? Just to touch on what you just said for a moment, the PlayStation 2 is the best, biggest selling console of all time. Sony got so full of themselves. The next generation, Xbox destroyed them. And what did Sony do? Back to square one. Focused on video games. And what did Microsoft do? They did the same thing PlayStation did a generation before. They did all this stuff that was just not what gamers want. And look what we have now. The PlayStation 4 is on top because of that. And Microsoft is catching up. They're doing a lot of good things. All the stuff they're doing really makes me go, holy shit, Xbox is not a bad place to play right now. It's not going to have the same player base, the same size, but the stuff they're doing to answer, like, we heard what you're saying the problem is, and we're implementing things to fix it, it's good. And so that's what competition needs. Because if they didn't have PlayStation, guess what? Xbox wouldn't have changed anything when PlayStation came out and dropped the mic. They wouldn't have changed anything if PlayStation didn't exist. You would get what the Xbox was meant to be, which is what people didn't want. So, yeah, I just wanted to touch on that.
Yeah, no, totally. So it's, but the problem is that Fox just keeps making money. That's the bigger problem, is that people still go see these movies. Yeah. And that's a problem. Because it's, come on, how many Transformers movies are in the top 10 grossing worldwide? That's a problem. It's not a good thing, because, and we could go into, the VFX houses that don't make anything off of this, how much the marketing costs, how much influences from foreign markets actually work to dilute quality in movies or add in, the problem is bad movies make big bucks. And really great movies don't get even a wide release. Sometimes look at Ex Machina. Ex Machina was a brilliant movie. That's a movie that if anybody listening has not seen, pause this, go find it, watch it, and come back with your mind blown. It's a fantastic piece on technology and AI, and it's marvelous. But how many people have actually seen it?
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true. I only know a few people that have seen it, and they've loved it. And
I mean, not everything needs to be an Oscar contender. I get it. Furious 7 isn't going to win any awards, but it doesn't need to. You can be a good movie without.
Well, that's kind of what sets Ant-Man, away. And Deadpool is going to be the same thing. It's going to be a lower. It looks like the biggest scene in that film is him on a bridge, kind of shooting up cars and stuff. I'm sure there's much more. But it's not like Avengers. It looks like a smaller film, and those are sometimes better. Like that's what I'm saying is like Guardians of the Galaxy was fantastic. It was huge. It was big. One of my favorite Marvel films. But at the same time, I really appreciate Ant-Man's size. Pun unintended. But I really appreciate it because it did tie into the Marvel universe a lot more than a lot of the other films did. But at the same time, it was its own smaller thing.
Yeah.
And, that was it. So it's, you're right. I was looking at the numbers, like what Days of Futures Past make, like what the Fox movies make, and what and you're right, it just goes up. It goes up. It goes up. It goes up. It only really had a dip with Wolverine Origins because of Last Stand. But they still don't touch Marvel's numbers. Like they don't come close. Well, I mean, I guess the last one did, about 7 million, and Avengers I think is Age of Ultron was like 1.3 billion. So I mean they're still making a lot more. You're right, they keep going and they keep making them, so that's kind of the problem. We are kind of the problem for seeing them.
I miss the budget movies. We live in a world where an Adam Sandler movie without CGI or anything, and we're going to talk about that later, where one of those movies where it's just people costs $40 million to make. What the hell? Really? Like, honestly, for $40 million with limited visual effects, you ought to be able to make a masterpiece.
Yeah.
That's... Ugh. And I am adjusting for inflation. I know some people are like, well, that was 60 years ago. I am adjusting for these things. If you can't take... look at Clerks. That kind of age of those kind of indie films, they're not... I mean, in a way, I think all of that is kind of shifting to online. You know what I mean? YouTube is kind of the new age for indie films. If you search out, you can find really cool short films. Yeah. That someone, when Kevin Smith did Clerks, when he came out and did that, the only platform it really had was televisions or movies or a VHS tape you pass around to your friends. True. And
that would have been all he had. He was just like, I made this, I showed it in a theater, and now I got to go back to being a clerk. It of course picked up. He became a famous writer and director, but this day and age, it's at your fingertips, and that's what he preaches. If you want to do a podcast, it's right there. If you want to do movies or TV, you have the ability. You have a phone in your hand that has more power in it than he did in the equipment he had back then. Like you could make a video and you can make a whatever and put it online. And granted, you might not have all the eyes to see it, but the possibility is there. I mean, look at PewDiePie, for example.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone would call that art, but, he did it, and he did it right on YouTube. So I think that kind of stuff is going towards, like, online video. But I hear you, man. I miss the Kevin Smith type films that are smaller, way smaller budget. They don't really make them that much anymore.
No, and that's part of why I love Tusk. Is because he made that on like $3 million.
Yeah.
And built some fairly elaborate stuff, too. The sets, the suit, that's how you do it. Make a film on a budget. We should have that should be a requirement. You should before you make some $80 million, whatever, you have to make a $2 million movie that at least people will look at and they will say, you know what, that'll work.
Yeah,
that should be mandatory, I think.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Look at the guys who did. Now they're going to be doing Avengers Infinity. They started with commercials, right?
Yeah.
They only had a handful of commercials. They had Community, which I know your feelings about Community. I loved it. I thought the comedy was there. And then they just did Captain America, and now they're basically taking over for Joss. Sorry. And so that's huge. I don't know. Sometimes you wouldn't get that. If you made that mandatory, but I hear what you're saying.
Or something equivalent, you know what I mean? Just prove that you can make without needing the money.
Yeah.
That's my thing. Show that if you're given bare bones tools, you can still create. And then then give them the nice stuff to play with and see what phenomenal things they can do.
Yeah.
That's the place where I'm coming from anyway. I mean, you could have shot if Kevin Smith had made Clerks today, he would have done it with a phone. That's it. You could shoot Clerks with a phone and still get that same quality. It wouldn't have cost him a dime to make that movie today. That's what I mean. I'm just gonna go on. Let's go on with the show because I'm gonna do this forever.
No, it's okay. Let's talk about a few other things. We'll kind of stick with the comic book movie stuff. Did you see that Ruffalo? I'm mispronouncing that. I don't know if I should even say this. He is. Oh man, this might be a spoiler for the film.
Not well.
Okay.
You never know. This could be flashbacky stuff. I always take these with a grain of salt.
Okay. So we'll just kind of report what was reported. Is that he was seen in Germany, hanging out with the guys that were shooting Civil War, Captain America: Civil War. So Robert Downey Jr. said this a while ago. He's in the film, even though he's not officially been casted or anything else. So it looks like we might get some of him in Civil War. Now, granted, we might not get the Hulk, and that's okay. I'm fine with that. We get some of him, that's cool. I'm totally down with that. And that's kind of what I understand this film is that there's a lot of cameos, but they're not big. They play parts in the movie. But from what I gather, from what I've listened to from the directors, they were saying this is a much smaller kind of film, than what people are thinking it's going to be. People are thinking it's going to be like Batman versus Superman. Apparently, it's not. It's a smaller idea that these two guys have a big problem with something, and there's a split. So of course you're going to see people in the film. They're going to be on each side. I thought that was cool. So I'm glad he's in it. Yeah. There's some news. Well, let's kind of talk about the Gambit thing. Yeah. Last week we came in, we shot the podcast. We had to come back and record that Channing Tatum was gonna drop out of the film, and it turns out that that people are reporting it might have been a money issue, basically. So he signed the deal, he closed the deal for the film to not only star but also to produce, which just means he has a little bit more say on what happens, which is cool. I guess he seems to be a fan of it.
Well, and that's producer points, man. That's a little extra cash.
Yeah, exactly. So that's some money. I know a lot of people were kind of happy that he was dropping out.
Yeah.
And they weren't happy that he was in it to begin with. But this is one of those things I want to see what happens, before I give him any shit. So
yeah.
I saw that there is some Batman vs Superman news, even more casting news for this film.
Because we don't have enough people in this freaking movie already.
I know, this is insane. Jenna Malone's role she's in the film, and she's reported to be playing Barbara Gordon, which is going to make a lot of people happy.
Yeah.
I imagine. So, from what I heard rumors, and I don't know if this is true or not, that Jim Gordon might not actually be in the film because he might actually have passed away in this DC universe, which would
Possible.
kind of suck. But yeah, that's from what I understand. So maybe we'll get apparently this Batman is older and semi-retired, so maybe she'll actually have the suit or have been in the suit at one point.
I would put money on have been in the suit.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
what I'm
so
thinking.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah,
You want to take one of the next ones?
I want to take this one because this ties into what I was going on about earlier a little bit.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure which one of these to take because I don't know which one sounds worse, but we'll do this one. We'll do the fact that Sony Pictures Animation is developing an animated movie starring emojis. Why? Why? Why in the name of all that is good and holy are we going to make smiley face font the feature film? Why?
Well, I mean, I don't think this is the feature film directed at me and you. I think this is the feature film directed at 6-year-olds. Honestly.
Those are we used to have those as VOD. Man,
That's what I mean.
They were direct to video. I don't think this goes direct to video. I think this goes to theaters.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. Is like I see, because kids these days, they all want the phone immediately as soon as I get to their house. They're like, Adam, let me, putting their hands in my pockets to grab the phone. Like they're so cell phones are. This is the norm to them. Emojis are the norm to them. I mean, I'm not trying to make excuses for it. I think it's a bad idea. I think it's really silly. But at the same time, if they think they can make money off of it, how do they even get the rights to that? They must have had to talk, I guess, to the company who created them and get the rights to. That's just weird.
Yeah.
I agree that this is. You're scraping the bottom of the barrel here. How many people out there probably have a really just fucking good script, something that could be different, could be great, and guess what? It doesn't matter because someone at Sony is going to make a fucking emoji movie.
I mean,
that does kind of piss me off.
And that's my point. I mean, this is almost as bad as if somebody was making a Pez movie.
Right, let's make a movie about keyboards and all the keys on them. Like that's what it sounds like. It's just ridiculous. Now the Pez one, since you wanted to go into that,
it's like, why? Why in the hell are you making a Pez movie? Why?
Yeah, what studio's doing that one?
This Envision Media Arts is kind of a new. This one I think will be direct to video. I think this one does go straight to VOD.
You know what happened? Lego did good.
Yeah,
and they're all
it.
trying to ride the coattails.
Yeah.
And I think what's going to happen is they're going to miss what made that movie so good.
Yeah.
And copy all the wrong things.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, yeah. So, Candy Spencer, Cameron Faye, brother-in-laws. What? They did brother-in-laws.
Yeah.
Okay. To write. That's. Yeah, I don't understand. I don't even understand. That has to be the direct-to-video. I don't understand how that would even work.
I sure hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. This one I thought was really cool. I don't know. Did you see the fight the other night?
Yes, I did.
Yeah. My roommate's huge into UFC, so we got the match, and it's like it's hours and hours long of all these matches before it, and then you get to the Rowdy Ronda Rousey fight, and it had. I'm not really into UFC at all. I'm totally casual, don't know much about anything, but I knew her name specifically because she was in Fast and Furious. She was at WrestleMania. She has a cool story. Like I've heard her story.
Yeah.
And the story of this fight was pretty cool. Like, well, not cool, but the story was this girl challenged her from Brazil. She was undefeated. She ran her mouth. She made fun. Like she talked about personal stuff to her family, about her family, about her father's suicide, and really just was totally unprofessional and got her ass handed to her.
Yeah.
And the time you could make a Vine clip, and it was truly fulfilling to see her do that too. So and she's such a nerd too. Like if you don't I'm pretty sure you do, but the audience, if you don't know, she's obsessed with Dragon Ball Z, and not just and same with Pokemon, and not in the sense of like I liked it as a kid and that's where that stayed. No, when I saw an interview, she was like, yeah, I loved all the Pokemons. I got Pokemon Blue, then I got Pokemon Red, and then Yellow, and then Platinum, and then she started listing them off, and she's like, yeah, and then eventually I got X, she goes, I got black and white, I got black and white 1 or 2, and then I got X and Y, and I'm just like, holy shit. And then she talked about Snap and had the secret like Mew trick in Snap, and I'm just like, she's not even like she absolutely is a total geek.
Yeah.
And I thought it was so cool. I immediately liked her. And so yeah, I see she's getting her own film that she is apparently she's going to star in it.
Yeah. Paramount bought the rights to her autobiography. For anybody who hasn't read it, and I would imagine this includes you, perhaps. It's called My Fight, Your Fight, and it's awesome. It's an awesome story. It's a great read.
I haven't.
Paramount bought the rights to it, and and apparently they said, why try to cast anybody else? So she's gonna star in her own autobiography biopic. So I thought, okay, that's different.
That is different. It's kind of like, I guess, when they did Eminem with 8 Mile, which 8 Mile really wasn't a story about him, but in a way it had a lot to do with him.
Yeah.
So who knows? It might be something like that. I mean, she was kind of stiff in Fast and Furious. She was kind of stiff, in the wrestling. So who knows? But she's a cool person to kind of get behind and cheer for. So I'm happy for her. That's awesome. She deserves it. You take the next one.
Which one are we doing next?
Johnny.
Oh yeah. Robert Rodriguez did an interview where he talked about the upcoming live-action Johnny Quest movie, and his whole thing was like, because he did Spy Kids, and that was kind of his biggest. That's kind of why they tapped him to do this. And his whole thing is like, look, those were quote unquote kids movies. This, I just want to do a legitimate action adventure film that just happens to have a kid in it. And he made the perfect sales pitch. This is why I'm hooked on this. He said this movie's gonna look at like, imagine you're a kid and James Bond is your bodyguard and Indiana Jones is your dad. Sold. I'm in. Let's do this. Totally in. Like, you want to sell me a movie? That's how you do it.
Oh yeah, exactly. And see, I'm not that, I don't know that much about Johnny Quest, but I like that idea. Absolutely. Indiana Jones is your dad. Let's see here. What? Dead 7?
Dead 7. This was actually a thing like a couple weeks ago, and I only found it like a few days ago. So apparently, Nick Carter from the Backstreet Boys, yes, that Nick Carter, is writing a zombie western film. And he's recruiting as many 90s boy band people that he can find to get into this. He's got most of the Backstreet Boys coming in. He's got Joey Fatone from NSYNC, and he's reaching out to everybody else. He's trying to get some of the people from New Kids on the Block. It's just this. I want to see this just because of the absurdity of how this sounds.
I think that's why it's such a sell. Because that's what they're going for. It's just wacky. Totally. Let's get crazy. Let's get these big pop stars from the 90s in here, and that will draw a lot of girls, and and it will be that like, this is wacky, So that I could totally see that being fun, at the very least. And this this I guess didn't really come for no surprise. They're doing a Purge 3.
Yeah.
Frank Grillo, how do you pronounce that? Is reprising the role in the third film.
Yeah, Anarchy was so good. Like, the first purge was like, hey, this is kind of neat, and then it sort of fell into a lot of the same traps that like those kind of stuck in the house movies have turned into. The Purge Anarchy was fantastic. It was great.
Yeah.
That was a movie that was like, hey, we did this on a fairly limited budget.
Yeah.
And it was great.
Yep. Oh yeah. Yeah. And then and then they got a little bit more money and they were able to do it. And it was good. It was good. I liked it. It was one of the only films, I guess, that from that era, that time period that I saw that was supposed to be like scary or whatever, that actually was really good. A lot of the other ones were shit. I think that's it for movies. We can move right along to some television news.
Sounds good.
And this one, this one got me excited. Netflix rumors suggest Disney is planning for a live-action Star Wars film or series for Netflix, following the success of Daredevil, which only makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, it's a proven platform.
Yes, there's 3 studios that I wished would get Star Wars rights. Now, I always thought Fox would do it because it's Fox, and I did not want that. But I wanted either HBO, in my dream world, HBO, AMC, or Netflix, and ding, 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 one of them is hopefully going to get it. Now, imagine 10 episodes of a Star Wars series, and please, just something about Rogue One or something. Like, it doesn't have to be the fantastical whatever. It could be maybe a Rogue Jedi, just out on his own. Doesn't have to be super big. You only get to see the lightsaber every once in a while. Oh, that would be awesome. Sorry.
Totally.
Yeah, that would be super cool. It doesn't have to be crazy big. It can be just like Daredevil, where it's smaller, good writing, engaging, and give me that. Kind of like the story of what was it, 1313?
Yeah.
Where it was a bounty hunter, and he had to, there was like 5 families, gangsters, and that he had to kind of work them all to kind of get higher and higher and higher up the food chain. Something like that would be totally cool. Just manipulating different families to get his way, and I don't know. Something like that would be cool too. So, you want to take the next one?
Sure. Yeah. Max von Sydow, speaking of Star Wars cast, has been cast for Game of Thrones Season 6. He's going to be the Three-Eyed Raven.
Now, the Three-Eyed Raven
has appeared in all of Bran's dreams.
Right, the Raven has, but I can't imagine how he's playing a Raven.
Maybe it's like a name, He's not an actual Raven, maybe.
Right, that's what I'm thinking, is that whoever is trying to talk to him is this old guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Conceivable.
So, yeah. That's cool. Great casting.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
Awesome casting.
Game of Thrones only gets better and better throughout the years, so that was cool. Yeah, I'm going to butcher this name.
You want me to take it?
Yeah, go ahead and take it.
Jenna Dewan Tatum.
Yeah, she was cast as Lucy Lane in Supergirl.
Yes, she was on Witches of East End, which should have gotten more than 2 seasons because it was a really good show. But no, she's fantastic, and I think she's a great choice. Because people kind of forgotten about Lucy Lane, really.
Me included, so go ahead and enlighten me.
She's pretty much exactly like Lois in a lot of ways. The kind of tough, savvy, sort of street smart. This is a great character if you're going to keep going with the idea of hey, strong female characters. This is a great choice. And
how many lanes are there? There was Lana.
No, that was Lang with a G.
Wait. Oh.
Yeah.
Oops.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're right. Just two. Lois and Lucy.
Okay. Gotcha. I totally... Oh, now Smallville's making a lot more sense. Yeah. It's just been so many years since I've seen it.
Totally.
Yeah. Okay, so she's in Superman. Now, is she a superhero?
No. At least not as far as I know.
Okay, because I just looked her up and I'm looking at her wiki and there's like a picture of her looking like she's got the S on the chest, but it might have been like a I don't know, someone might have done her as that as like a what if or something.
It could have been probably. I don't know. Like I don't. She she was kind of created as like, hey, we need a Lois who isn't a reporter.
Yeah.
But, no, she's and
okay.
Her, yeah. You see,
she had no inherent powers. She had a power suit that altered her DNA, which via a containment field to blah 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 that a Kryptonian I don't know. So yeah, I guess someone gave her a suit that altered her DNA.
Yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead.
But no, just like it's their way of saying, hey, we need another familiar name. And so, they can't do Lois because she's in the movies, and, God forbid those two should ever meet.
Total mistake.
yeah, big time.
Yeah, but I mean, speaking of TV, I did see. Did you see that? Stephen.
Yes, Stephen Amell.
Yeah, he's gonna be hosting WWE. Do you know what week it is?
Monday Night Raw. It's next Monday. It's
like next Monday.
Yeah.
Ah, that's awesome.
Well,
definitely gonna watch that.
Because he and Stardust, Cody Rhodes, have had like this weird Twitter feud for a while now.
Yeah.
And that's why Stardust kept doing, like, he keeps taunting him. And so finally they're like, all right, fine, we're gonna put these two. They had Amell. He was seated at ringside to like a month ago or something. Yeah. But nothing ever came of it. But now they're gonna actually have him on the program, and I hope he does more than when Hugh Jackman was on, because that was sad.
Yeah, I didn't see when Hugh Jackman was on. Was he like just Hugh Jackman, or was he like?
No, he was Hugh Jackman, but it was like when they put somebody non-wrestling in the ring, and they're like, you have something to do, and it always looks terrible because these guys are just not part of this world. Yeah. So they don't, you can't have them take a bump or anything like that. It just it because they don't know how to do it. Not their fault. It's just not part of their skill set. Like when Hugh Jackman was on, like he pulled like the little like a really awful looking punch on I can't even remember who it was now. But like that was the extent of his involvement. He was like, this is how I'm gonna get involved. Pow! And like that was, and it looked terrible. It really did. But so that's the risk you run if you get them involved like in actual in-ring festivities. But,
yeah, there's a guy with blonde hair.
Yeah,
it might be. Who's the guy with blonde hair now? It's kind of longer.
Oh.
He's with that one Russian chick.
Oh, Dolph Ziggler. Yeah.
It might be Ziggler.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is Ziggler. Someone came into a ring also dressed as Magneto.
That was Damien Sandow. That was embarrassing. No, I'm serious. Go YouTube that. Damien Sandow as Magneto. It's so bad. It's embarrassing. There are 5-year-olds in playhouses looking at this and going, "We make pretend better than that." Like it's that bad. It's terrible. It's just awful.
You think Amell would get on the suit?
I don't think Amell. I doubt it. I don't think so.
Oh, that'd be cool. That'd be cool seeing as him and Sting or something. That would be awesome. Vigilante.
Yeah.
If there was a place for him to do something, that would be probably a place for him to kind of bring him back into the fold.
True.
Doubtful, but that'd be cool.
But yeah, I cross my fingers with this one because this could either be really interesting or really bad.
Yeah.
I'll settle for lame. Like if they bring him on and they jaw jack and whatnot and whatever, that's fine. But if they're gonna get him involved, this could get really ugly really fast.
Yeah, but we're all gonna be tuned in to watch it though, so
totally.
that'd be cool. There's one more TV news. You take it. That's
yeah, this one's a little rough. Falk Henschel, who was in Reckless, and he's done some TV here and there, has been cast as Hawkman for Legends of Tomorrow, which is awesome news.
Oh yeah.
I love Hawkman. I don't know if I'm crazy about this casting. Like, I have to see what they do with his look, because he doesn't strike me as the Hawkman type.
Yeah.
On the flip side, Casper Crump, who's been in a lot of Danish TV, and that's pretty much it, has been cast as Vandal Savage. And this dude looks like Vandal Savage. I mean, it is a bang-on job that they've done.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking at him right now. He totally looks like him.
The hair, the beard, the whole bit, like, it's just perfect.
Yep. Oh yeah, I'm looking at him. He looks familiar.
He was on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. at one point.
Like, that's what it was?
Yeah. He had a minor character on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., I think.
Okay.
I think that was him. Was it him? It was him or Hawkeye. One of these two was on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. at some point.
Yeah, he looks familiar. But yeah, he looks perfect for the role.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, let's move right along. Let's get into some... There's a lot of video game news.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's... Wow, where do we start? Let's start with the PlayStation Plus games.
Okay.
Let's see here. August games, they were revealed as Lara Croft in the Temple of Osiris.
Yes.
PS4. Limbo, which is PS4.
Yes.
Stealth Inc. 2, Game of Clones, PS4, PS3, and Vita.
Yes.
Sound Shapes, PS4, PS3, PS Vita. Castle Storm Complete Edition, PS3 and Vita. God of War Ascension, PS3.
Yeah, good month.
Man, yeah, a lot of Vita games, a lot of PS4 games. I'm pretty excited.
Yeah. I can't wait to play Lara Croft in the Temple of Osiris. Yeah. Which is a sequel, for those who don't know, is a sequel to Lara Croft and the Guardians of the Light, which was like the top-down dual-stick kind of platformer that they did.
Yeah, like a puzzle platformer, right?
Yeah, and it was, like 4 years ago, I want to say? It might have been it was even longer. I think 4, maybe 5. But was really good.
Yeah, that's what everyone that's told me has played it. So, and, Limbo gets a lot of good, views too.
As well it should. Limbo was awesome. And Stealth, don't sleep on Stealth Inc. 2. That's an interesting little title. It was, I think the first one, it might have been the first one, or it might have been this one, that was free on PS3 a long time ago. I think it was the first
I'm looking at it. This looks really familiar.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, it's free. Give it a shot. You've got nothing to lose except a little bit of time, and you might find that you actually like it.
These are the perfect kind of games for Vita.
Oh, totally. Oh, this is absolutely a perfect Vita game. Totally.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's what I really love about the PlayStation Plus. If you got a PlayStation 4, 3, or Vita, any of them, just make sure it's like look how many games. Like, for example, getting two PlayStation, or getting 1, 2, 3, 4 PlayStation 4 games. I'm getting, which at the same time is I'm getting 3 PlayStation Vita games. Like, that's insane for the price for PlayStation Plus.
Totally.
Yeah, so I'm totally excited, and of course you got PlayStation 3, you're gonna get God of War Ascension, and the Castle Storm. But I played Ascension, it was pretty good. But yeah, man, so good. Now this one, I have you played Zombie U?
I did. I loved it. I loved it.
So, Zombie, which is a remake of Zombie U, is coming to consoles 8/18/2015 as digital download only. So does that mean all consoles?
Yes. Next Friday it's coming to. And I don't know if it's all consoles or if it's just current gen. I think it may be just current gen.
Okay. Because I thought Zombie U was just a Wii U game.
It was.
Oh, okay. So it's coming to all consoles. Gotcha. Or all next gen. That's cool. Yeah, I never played it. Don't know anything about it.
It's good. It's really good. I mean, I'm gonna be interested to see how they change some of the mechanics, because a handful of them relied pretty heavily on the on the Wii U gamepad, the second screen. So we'll see how they've changed it, like the inventory screen and the map, and there were a couple other things. But, that'll be interesting.
Yeah. And I mean, the PlayStation has that touchpad for a little bit, but I don't know what that can do. Would it be cool on a Vita?
No.
Or is it too much going on?
I think you need. I think you need a bigger screen for it.
Okay.
I do.
Okay. Cool.
I mean, you could probably get away with it on a Vita, but I don't think so. Like, I don't think this would be a great Vita game.
Oh man, what's this sidetrack for a second? I was playing Destiny on the Vita, like the what do you call it? Not hands free, but where you can basically stream your PlayStation.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit, I can be sitting anywhere in my house right now and not stop playing this game.
Nice.
So it's become a problem. Yeah. But yeah, man. So sorry, we'll go back to here. Take the next one because I'm gonna butcher that. Any ones with names, just go ahead and take them.
Tetsuya Nomura, who is the game director for the Final Fantasy VII remake, he said in an interview, a handful of days ago, that the gameplay will be, quote, drastically changed, which means that anybody who's played the original or any of the pre-12 Final Fantasy games, so if you've played any of the decent Final Fantasy games, if you've played any of the ones that don't suck, you're familiar with the active time battle system. You know, this is where you would get the menus and everything would wait and so on and so on. Or you could make it active, but usually it stayed in wait. That battle system will be going away. And what that says to me is that they're going to move this in like that new combat direction, like you got with all the different 13 games, and they're doing with 15, which, I was afraid of this. But look, this isn't going to, I don't think this is going to ruin it. Some people are going to completely freak out about it, and I hesitate to come down on one side or the other of this, but I think it'll be fine. I don't think it's gonna destroy it any.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, you're going to get the purists that are just going to be totally upset.
Well, let them play the updated PC version that has achievements.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I'm looking forward to it either way.
I just want them to make it. I just want to see it. That's all. I mean, this particular segment of the community has been banging this drum since before the tech demo. And then when they dropped the tech demo, they were like, see, you could do it if you wanted. And they were like, yeah, whatever. Here, have another 13 game. And then they found out, oh yeah, these aren't selling really well because people think they suck. And got, like, every once in a while, I'll still go back and play that part from the PlayStation conference, from Sony's conference, just to hear when they cut the room mics back on, because it is deafening.
Yeah.
That's the sound of the internet getting what it wants. Good or bad. That's what it sounds like. Just noise. Just cheering so loud that it is a roar. It is an honest-to-God roar. And to get that at E3, I mean, come on.
Yeah, exactly.
That takes something special. So, but yeah, we'll see. Like, I don't think... I kind of expected this. So, like, it's not a big, like, right in the childhood. No, I anticipated this, and I think it'll be fine. And I think it makes sense. It does make sense. I don't think it's gonna, like, destroy the integrity of the game. It'll be fine.
Yeah. I think it will be too. We'll see. It's definitely gonna be interesting to see how people react to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally.
As long as they don't start changing, like, the systems, like the materia system that they had and everything. Don't mess with that. Leave that be. So.
Yeah, totally. Did you see all the new Xbox stuff that they were?
Yeah, I've got that under the Gamescom heading down here.
Oh, okay. I'm seeing different headings. Okay, cool. We'll get to that. But the Gears of War one, Ultimate Edition, remastered for the first Gears of War titles to allow players to access first 4 titles through backwards compatibility.
Yeah.
So that's super cool.
Yeah, that's neat.
Yeah. Now, it's not like you don't buy the remastered and you're just going to get these games. You have to actually own the
No.
other ones.
That's not the way I read it.
Oh.
Because there was a whole, like, the next paragraph went on to talk about everybody else who, once after this game comes out, that's when the Gears games will be, that's when backwards compatibility will apply to these games. You know what I mean? Like, when they'll become available for this. And they made a distinction between people who bought the first game remastered and those who didn't.
Yeah.
So I think that if you, that's, and now again, this is the way the article was kind of worded. It was a little wonky, but the way that I read it was that if you buy the Gears of War Ultimate Edition, then you get the HD remaster of the first Gears of War and digital copies of the other 3 games.
Damn, that's cool.
That's the way I read it. Anyway.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
So that'll be no. That's all.
No, that's cool. I mean, it's another great thing that that Xbox is doing. Like they're really listening. This Star Wars Battlefront. Now, I didn't see this news, but apparently they're teasing a dogfight mode. Now, what exactly does that mean?
All that they did on their Facebook page, they put up a picture of an X-Wing. Just a plain white background and a picture of an X-Wing just sitting there. And it said, prepare for liftoff. That was all the picture was, but everybody's kind of speculating that this is going to be like a separate mode. Like they're going to take aerial combat and it's going to be its own thing. It's not going to be included with all the other modes. It's not going to be part of of everything we've seen so far, that it's going to be its own separate mode.
Oh, okay.
Which I would be perfectly cool with, because that would be awesome.
Yeah, that would be. That sounds cool.
But we'll see eventually, because EA, they think they're going to talk about this during their Gamescom conference, which by the time you're listening to this podcast, we'll probably already know. So,
yeah, there's some things we don't know yet about a lot of these games. Like, I'm kind of excited for, they're going to announce the new WoW expansion.
Yeah, that's on Thursday. Yeah,
I'm shocked they're doing it there and not at their own BlizzCon. But hey, okay. I know that they dropped a shitload of, they went right back up to the top. With I forget how many millions of subscribers.
Yeah. And
they lost, I don't know, I don't know the numbers, but it was millions and millions and millions of people in the last few months, because that's the problem with those MMOs, is they have to push out content faster. They have to. They can't do 2 to 3 years like they were, and if you're counting, I'm going to say Destiny probably for the 50th time, but that's every 3 months or so. It seems like they're releasing new content and stuff. So that's kind of what you got to have to do. If WoW at least does once a year, I think they'll be okay.
Yeah.
But that's the problem is, with the last expansion, not the one that came out, I'm sorry, not the one that just came up with the one before it, the Pandarian one. Yeah, a lot of people didn't like it, but it had long-lasting things to do, where the last one was great up front, and it was great at first, but there wasn't a lot behind the hood, it seemed like. There wasn't that much for people to do after they beat everything. That's why I subscribe, I play, and then I leave in a month, because I've already played the story, and that's all I kind of cared about. And they kind of got to go back to doing a year. They have to go to start doing a year. So that's one piece of news that, I'll talk about next week, whatever that is. But yeah, there's still, how long is Gamescom? This has to be one of the longest.
Couple days.
It's just a couple days? I thought it was all week. My bad.
No. At least the schedule I saw had EA's stuff Wednesday. They have a Call of Duty. Well, hell, I've got it written down here. Down here at the bottom. All times Eastern Standard, because this is taking place. I don't know where Gamescom is over in Europe. I'm not entirely sure.
Is it in Germany?
I think so. Yes,
Yeah.
That sounds right.
Yeah, it's in Germany.
Yeah. All times Eastern Standard. EA 4 in the morning, 8-5. So yeah, this
Jesus Christ. So
in
maybe we should record something in the morning and just attach it.
Right.
Seriously.
So EA's is going to be in like 3 hours. Blizzard at 6 in the morning, and then but that's their everything else. The WoW expansion has its own thing tomorrow at noon, or Thursday. I should say Thursday at noon. And then here's the weird thing: Call of Duty over at Gamescom has its own conference Wednesday at 1. Like, it has its own thing. Like,
that's crazy.
That's so weird, but you know.
Yeah,
but
it's not just Activision. It's
not. It's just Call of Duty. I'm like, that's weird.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. Well, I guess since I already brought up Destiny a million times, we'll talk about some of the big news that came out of it. They released a lot of information. I'm not going to go over it all because it would just bore people to tears. We'll kind of touch on the bigger things. One of the major things is that Nolan North is going to replace Peter Dinklage as the voice of the Ghost, and not only just like further on, like he's going to start doing the voice of it. They're actually going back into the game, and they're taking out Peter Dinklage, and they're adding Nolan North, and it's apparently it's not going to be the same script. It's going to be different. It's going to fit into the cutscenes, but they're all redone. Apparently the cutscenes are redone. The voices are redone. They're adding a lot of cutscenes into the game. So if you're starting out from scratch, basically if you played Destiny for the last year, it's been a beta. That's literally what it's been, because they've rehauled it from the ground up. All the missions are completely reorganized and redone. Like, they're not going to be given to you in the same order. They're not going to be given to you the same way. You're actually going to be given the missions and quests from quest givers and missions from people, and they're going to talk to you about what you're doing, why you're doing it, why it's so important, why you're so important, why your class is so important. They're actually going to add story into the game, which was the biggest, one of the biggest complaints about Destiny. That's kind of where I've seen it. A lot of people, no one ever complains about the gameplay because it feels great. It's where's the story? Where's this, Destiny's the game that it's my dream game, but it doesn't exist. It exists, but not the way I was told it was going to be, and the game that I wanted it to be. And it does seem that it might eventually be that, because if they really do, the things that they're adding into this game are things that I was not expecting until, Destiny 2 next year, which is what they announced. They said the big Destiny 2 will be next September. So we have this big, and from that point forward, by the way, the DLC is going to be free. Like, the last two DLCs were $20 a pop, or $30 for both of them, if you bought them together. The next DLCs are all going to be they're not going to charge between the games.
Nice.
Which is awesome. Oh yeah. Considering, I spent $30 on the last two, and I kind of dipped away from Destiny for a while, and I went back a few weeks ago, that we've kind of talked about. And the content feels great for me because I was gone for so long, but for the people that have been playing, are ready for something new. They've already maxed out their gear, they maxed out their light, they've gotten their exotic weapons that they want to get, they've done pretty much everything, and now they're like, we are hungry for the Taken King. And the Taken King, it's not just like adding new stuff. That's what I found so interesting about what they kind of announced. They're going back and they're like editing their entire game, and they're making it so if you're jumping in for the first time, it's going to feel like an actual game, instead of, hey, we're going to drop you do your own quest, you do whatever, and the story is just bullshit. At least they're going back and they're adding it, and it's narrative driven. They're adding 8 missions to the game that's already out, and then they're adding, I believe, 8 more. There's 8 new legendary missions. I don't know the exact details for that, but there's a lot more missions. There's a whole new area. They've added new new classes. So like each class has a new subclass.
Okay.
Yeah, so like for example, the Warlock, I don't know the name of it. Let me see if I can pull it up. But the Warlock, like their special is straight out of Star Wars with the lightning. Yeah. The Hunter has like a big purple bow and arrow that you form out of light and shoot down, and it wraps around everybody and pulls them together. And someone else throws a grenade in there and they're all dead. The Titan has this huge like Seahawks hammer, but it's like you're all on fire and shit. It looks cool. It's a whole new subclass that everyone's gonna make sure they have all their 3 characters. They're gonna play those. What they're doing, and this is what I always kind of assumed they were gonna do. This is one of the other big pieces of news that it ruffled the feathers of some people, because I think it's a lot of people who never played MMOs. What's happening is all the gear that you've played with, all the gear that you've took forever to kind of get, it's gonna be obsolete come the expansion, because there's going to be new guns, new weapons for you to play with. And the argument is that I've seen all over the place is that, well, I don't want that. I feel like I've worked for this. Now why is it going to be obsolete? And in my mind, I'm thinking, you guys haven't played World of Warcraft.
No,
because that's exactly what happens. Every expansion, the old stuff is the old stuff. And you have to kind of get in the mentality of, I want new toys. I want new toys to play with. And yeah, they're going to dumb down a lot of the weapons. They're going to nerf a lot of the weapons. But how fun would playing with the same, rocket launcher for 10 years, because that's their, what they want to do, that would be boring as hell. You want new guns, you want new weapons. The other thing is they're changing it, so I'm not sure if you're familiar with it, but in Destiny you can get, I think, up to level 20, and then after that it's all light. It's all the gear that you get, and the weapons that you get. Some of them have 26 light, 36 light, 42 light. The higher it goes, you can go up to level 34. In the expansion, they do away with light, and it's all just experience. And their thought process was, in the last year or so, after 20, it's all kind of random. You're not in control of getting experience, and they kind of thought that was shitty. They thought, why don't you should have some control on how you get further ahead in the game. The more hours you should put in, it shouldn't be random if you get rewarded for it. Which I think is cool. A lot of people don't, but I think that's super cool. Like, of course, if I'm going to put this many hours into it, I want to show for it,
Yeah.
The other thing is, what I think is cool, the drops. The drops are always random. You could get drops for whatever character. You can get drops for things you don't need. The game's actually going to see what you have on you and what you like, and it's going to drop things for you in particular. So the loot system is going to work for you. It's not going to go, hey, he's got a Galahorn, I'm going to drop 3 for him, in the next few weeks. It's going to go, he has that, let's see what he doesn't, and drop that.
Yeah. There you
So,
go.
yeah, so that's all I'll kind of talk about. There's a lot more. There's tons more that they're adding and kind of reshaping. So I'm for one really excited. Like I said, I just got back in with a whole group of friends. That's the difference. Playing before, I didn't have anyone to play with. So I did. I had like one person, and we didn't really know anyone. So I kind of fell off, played a bunch of other games, had fun. I'm in that kind of lull right now where I didn't want to go back to Witcher just yet, and I wanted something else. I hopped into Destiny, found a group of people, and what a load of difference it is to hop in, have a group of people to kind of run around, do things, have goals in the game. Like, okay, they're like, all right, we're going to get you geared for this. We're going to get you Iron Banner all week, and that's what we did all week, and we got it. So, like, it's been a ton of fun playing with people, and it makes the world of difference in that game. Yeah, I'll shut up about Destiny. So,
No, hey man,
but,
I did my half an hour on filmmaking earlier, so
Yeah, it's cool. So yeah, if anyone's big Destiny fans, you'll probably hear a lot about it from me in the next few months, because
Right.
I'm in love with it. And it drops in September. One thing I am trying to do, and I'll end it after this, I promise, is there's an emblem you're gonna get. Basically, there's a list of things you have to do in order to get the emblem, and I've done all of them except 2, and I think in the next 4 weeks I should be able to accomplish it. There's just so much. Sorry, one more thing. A lot of people complained about there's no story in this, and that when you play the game you get these glimmer cards, and you're supposed to go and read them all offline, and it tells you all of this lore, which is bullshit. Like that, whoever thought that would be a good idea, they're crazy. So what's going to happen is in the game, they're going to tell you what those Glimmer cards are. They're going to, instead of just hand them to you and say go read offline, they're going to explain in the story. You're going to be able to go up to a person, hold down square, and it's going to talk to you about that lore so you can actually get it and understand it, because the attention to detail in that game is crazy. Like, there's a place on Mars. There's a subway station or whatever, and I forget the name of the junction, but the name of that place is an actual plateau on Mars. And it's the same place on the map that's in the game. Like, it's crazy how much attention to detail, but I promise, for the third time, I'll stop about Destiny. But yeah, so that was cool. There was a lot of news. You can go search for it. They released a lot of stuff, so we can move on. All right. So I guess the next we could just talk about Gamescom, because there's a lot from Gamescom.
Okay.
Or should we do Konami first?
Let's do Konami, because Gamescom we can kind of wrap up all in its own little bubble.
Okay, yeah. Konami is some like weird news drop, and I didn't know how official this was, so take it with a grain of salt. But let's see here. Where did I get it from? I got it from Giant Bomb. That's where I got the article from. So apparently the game developers there are monitored on and off site. Like, they're monitored while they're at work. They're monitored while they're not at work. They're given they're not supposed to have internet access, personal email accounts, and punitively are reassigned from development roles, like developing video games, to positions like the security guards or maintenance. And that's nothing against people who are security guard and maintenance, but when you're hired for a specific kind of role as like a video game developer, that's screwed up. Like that's fucked up. Like to so you weren't doing good, so we're gonna just move you. That's the what? Like, it makes no sense. Like, I was looking at the article, and it was just they have cameras on them, and it's not to monitor for security, it's to make sure they're doing their job and to monitor everything they're doing. And to me, this just smells of corruption. Like, total, something's not right with this company. And if anyone's been paying attention the last few months, nothing seems right about this company.
No, I don't know. Like, recently Konami has been weird. Like, everything with Kojima, it started there, and everybody went, why? Why did this fall apart? Like, here's some things that are, like, genuinely good news. And then it all fell apart. And then with the irony of this, and I know it's not really ironic, but I say it so people know what I mean. With Konami taking Kojima's logo off of Metal Gear Solid, off of the Phantom Pain, and there's a mission in Ground Zeroes where you have to take the Kojima logo off of all these different places. That
wow.
They put it. Kojima. Here's the thing. Kojima made that mission. Like, they put this in as a side mission, wow. And then when the main game gets ready to drop, Konami takes the Kojima logo off of it. Like, that's spooky. That's like, that almost says like they knew something.
Yeah, no, totally. Like, the amount of the things that are coming out about this whole deal to me is way more interesting than the game. I guess because I'm not really interested in Metal Gear. I am. I mean, it's a great franchise. I've only played the first one, Metal Gear Solid, or not the first one, but Metal Gear Solid. But the news coming out of it, like just how screwed up Konami is, I can't wait until he actually just does a tell-all. Maybe he can't right now because of legal reasons.
Yeah.
But there's so much under this hood that I think is still waiting to be found out. Like, that type of work environment, that's insane. Like, that's not normal. You'd get in trouble, doing that over. You would totally get in trouble. Did you see this, just for a second, did you see the cat gif where the cat was just like, fuck this, fuck that, fuck this in particular?
Yeah.
And he's knocking things off, and it's Silent Hill, Bomberman, Castlevania, and the Kojima at the end.
here's something interesting. You gotta wonder, because how long... Do a quick... Look for me real quick. How long have... Because haven't the Metal Gear games always been a Konami production? Like, they've always been, like, Kojima working with Konami to make these games, right? Yeah. So I'm wondering, is the craziness of what continues to happen in each Metal Gear Solid game, is that partly inspired by the working conditions of Konami? Maybe?
Yeah, I think you actually may be onto something.
Like, maybe we look at these and we think, these games are ridiculous. How does this, like, this is the most crazy, convoluted, like... And what if we're looking at this and we're saying, this is actually just extrapolated from the working conditions they're under? Like, what if this is a little bit of we just didn't know that we actually had art imitating life? This whole thing, like, this entire series is like, how do we beat this company?
Oh yeah, and you're right. From 1987, he was a creator. He's been with them ever since.
Yeah.
And the guy's a giant bummer, just joking around, just like, how fucked up is this company, and like, how deep does it go? Like they were joking about what's it called? I'm not gonna talk about it, but they were just joking about how deep in, maybe how corrupt this company might actually be, because that kind of work. That kind of labor, that breaks, I don't know how many labor laws. I don't know what it's like over there, but holy shit. You couldn't do that over here. You would get in massive amount of trouble.
Well, didn't some of the Call of Duty developers have a big Activision issue a few years ago? Wasn't there...
Well, not to the point of their
No, not this...
saying, you're a security guard now.
Yeah. No, not this insane, but just the idea of, like, wasn't there something odd going on over there? I don't remember exactly, and I know it wasn't like anywhere near this level, like not even close.
Right, but, like employees can't have internet access.
Yeah,
or and personal email. They were talking about it on their podcast about how they were like, oh shit, this makes sense because over the years they've received emails from Konami employees where it's just a bunch of numbers. And they would just say, like, basic stuff like stop reporting or stop doing this or something. And they were just like, it was the strangest emails. And it would be like a bunch of numbers, at Konami.com. And so, like, they thought it was so weird that they would be getting they were like, oh, this is whoever. And they're like, well, that's weird. Your email address is a bunch of numbers. So, like, there's a lot of truth to this. And... oh man, I can't wait to kind of see what comes out of this. It's just so weird. What does it say here? It says only a rare few in the PR sales who are allowed to have emails, and can email to outsiders. These workers only have access to temporary email addresses comprised of random letters and numbers, assuring that the employees can't be constantly reached. Those number at 8 production developments, formerly Konami, has said it's been even worse. They don't have internet access. That's insane to be working in a place internet access. They said there's literally a camera just pointed at them, not for security reasons, but just to see what they're doing. That's weird. That's totally weird.
Yeah, that's madness.
That's crazy. I mean, I can imagine you'd go into like Blizzard or something like that, and seeing that. Now everyone's monitored, of course, at work in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, but
but that's absurd. It's usually for your protection, or to make sure like if you're on your computer, that's understandable. They're making sure you're not going to bad websites or you are working, but not a camera just pointed at you. Like that's like something Mr. Smithers would do.
No kidding.
Yeah. But yeah, so who knows? Maybe the next few weeks we'll find out some more, and I'll probably be able to read a little bit more of the article because I just read a little bit of it before I came on. But yeah, let's talk about some Gamescom news.
Yeah, big day for Microsoft. They had their conference today, so it's pretty much all Microsoft news. Yeah. For some reason, inexplicable reason, they've decided that Halo Wars needs a sequel. And I don't know.
I never played it.
It was I mean, it wasn't awful, but like it was just like, okay, they made this because sure, you've got armies and making a real-time strategy game would make sense. Okay, we'll do that. And it was like, it was like, okay, that's nice, we tried it, let's move on.
So it was an RTS on the Xbox.
Yeah.
Oh, that's strange.
Yeah.
Not on PC?
I don't know if it was on PC. I don't know.
What the hell? Come on, Microsoft. If you're going to release that game, put it on PC at least.
They may have. Like, I don't know. But
heck, put that on tablets. That'd be kind of cool on a tablet.
And I think that's probably what they're looking at. Like,
yeah.
This is going to pair with Smart Glass in some way, and that's how this is going to work for the sequel.
Yeah. Put those on tablets. Put it on your, they're really pushing their
Surface, yeah.
Surface, yeah. I don't think, because I think actually iOS just got a Halo game not too long ago. It was whatever the one they were pushing on, buy our tablets because that's the only place you're going to get Halo, and then eventually they're just like, fuck it, let's make money.
Yeah.
So, it was called Halo Spartan Assault, I think, that the one I saw in the App Store.
Yeah, it sounds right.
Yeah, and that was like the twin shooter kind of game.
Yeah,
twin stick shooter. But that's cool. Yeah, Microsoft's hitting it out of the park, man. If it definitely made it. It's not making me want to go out and buy an Xbox or anything, but I'm happy for my friends who did get an Xbox, so they don't feel completely screwed over. That they're being listened to, especially the backwards compatibility. That's the biggest bomb I think they dropped. In the last few months. Let's see here. We got Quantum Break release date was announced 4/5/16.
Yep.
Now, Quantum Break, what?
Quantum Break is a game that they've shown for, like 60 years at E3. No,
that's what I thought.
Yeah, it was at last year's and the year before, but it wasn't there this year, if memory serves.
No.
It's like this guy is like trying to figure out, hey, this time travel experiment went wrong, and now crazy stuff happens, and so go.
Yeah.
Like it looks interesting, like it does. If it ever actually does indeed come out, it looks like it could be pretty cool.
Yeah.
But,
I was looking at screenshots and stuff. It looks pretty cool. Looks like it has a cool story. But yeah, I guess I just haven't paid much attention because I don't have the one. But that's cool. Homefront: The Revolution trailer for the upcoming game was released. Did you see it?
I did. I'm in. I'm so in. Like I enjoyed the first Homefront. Like I'm a weird one like that. But I'm looking forward to this. And then seeing the trailer, and I was like, okay, yeah, this definitely looks cool.
Oh yeah. The first one I thought was I didn't play that much of it. I did play it, but I thought it was just a fucking cool idea.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm glad that got a sequel.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Homefront is basically like Red Dawn, the video game, more or less.
Yeah. Like the opening scene was crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's cool. They some other games that I don't think was shown this E3, but was the last one was Crackdown 3.
Yes, this was another one that was like, where is it?
Yeah, so 100% destructible. I didn't see this.
Yeah. They showed during their gameplay trailer that you will have 100% destructible environments, which I don't believe for a second. I don't.
Yeah, how does that work?
That's the thing. Like, I don't look. If they do it, then more power to them. Rock on.
Yeah.
But I don't see it.
Yeah, I'd be interested in seeing how that works. I know a lot of people who loved Crackdown, so that's cool. Yeah, I'm looking at the holy shit. Yeah, and I'm glad it's getting more news. Do we have a release date or?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think. Maybe. I'm not entirely sure. Be honest with you.
All right, cool, cool. Killer Instinct Season 3 to begin March 26th, or
Yep.
sorry, March 2016. Rash Battletoads join the roster. So again, a lot of these Gamescom stuff I didn't see. He just looks like a Battletoad in it.
He is a Battletoad. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
gotta
they
see
brought
this.
in Rash. Oh, yeah. Like, and it was a great drop. Because it was like, okay, who do we keep adding to Killer Instinct? Well, we've got the fighters for each season, but what do we do, like, bonus-wise? What's something neat? Well, let's put one of the Battletoads in there. Why the hell not?
I'm wondering why they're adding Battletoads
Because it's
to
rare.
everything.
It's rare.
I mean, I get it's rare, but
The name,
Battletoads
man.
was a bad game. I don't understand the.
Because there's this fascination with it.
Is
Like,
there though, or
Yes. Yes,
I
there
just have a
is.
feeling that Microsoft thinks there's a fascination.
There's a fascination. Trust me.
Who though? What fan base is a Battletoad? What fanatic is a Battletoads?
There are so many people. Dude, trust me. There is a big community that's like, we want a new Battletoads game. Trust me.
Who
it's
says
there.
that? I don't know. I mean, I guess I
there.
haven't seen that anywhere. Give me a fucking Ninja Turtles game. You know, don't give me the I don't know. It just seems like such a rip off. I don't know. It like he even has the red bands around his arm. I'm looking at a picture right now. I don't know. I get. Did you played the original, right?
Yes. Yes, I
Like that
did.
game was shit. I know. I thought it was bad.
I'm not arguing.
Yeah, like it wasn't even like this is hard. It's good because it's hard. It was like it was bad and it was hard. So I mean, give me a good Battletoads game. That would be cool. But I don't know. I just think that's weird. Like I don't know. But then again, I guess who else would they put in a Killer Instinct game? Yeah, that makes sense. I guess.
I was hoping for Banjo-Kazooie.
That would be pretty cool. Yeah, I'm looking at pictures. Like his foot gets really big. Am I looking at fake pictures? I can't tell.
No, that'd be about right.
Yeah, like the foot gets huge. Yeah, and they're showing some of the characters
It was
from
a brawler. Man, it was a side-scrolling brawler from back in the day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, look, they made a new Double Dragon game. They can make whatever they want.
I'm surprised maybe there's not a double dragon character in there. That'd be pretty cool, like two of them.
It would be different, sure.
Yep. But yeah, so okay. So Xbox One, there's a Halo themed console
There is.
coming October 20th with 1 terabyte of storage for $499.
Yes. It's a Halo-themed Xbox dropping the week before Halo 5. So
Let me guess, it comes with a copy of Halo 5.
It does not.
And swing and a miss.
Yes. That blows my mind. That, like, you're gonna do a Halo-themed console with a terabyte of storage for $500, and you're not going to include Halo 5.
Oh, what a gosh.
Wow.
Come on, Microsoft. That doesn't
For all
make
the-
sense. When you got a Destiny PlayStation, didn't you get Destiny with it?
I did.
Yeah.
It was a bundle. Like, that was the point. It's like,
Yep.
hey, this is a cool white PS4.
Oh, your
and it comes with
PlayStation's the Destiny one?
Yeah, I
Oh
got the
my-
bundle. Oh, yeah.
Dude, that is awesome.
Yeah.
I am so jealous of you right now. You want to trade?
No.
Just kidding. Yeah, no, that's awesome, dude.
No, yeah.
Yeah, you got the whole thing. And wasn't it was like $400, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So for $500, you can get the Halo themed without the game. But I guess it's a terabyte. Ah, that's still silly. That's still dumb.
But you still don't get the game. That's...
Yeah.
Like, the terabyte is cool. I think that's great, and I think that's where we're headed. And I think the next PS4 SKU that's announced is going to be a terabyte.
Yeah.
But why? Why not include, like, anything? This doesn't get bundled with anything. It's just a console.
Yeah.
I mean, that's... we talked about Microsoft listening and giving gamers what they're asking for, and then,
Yeah. Oh, man. Oh, dude, in 2 seconds, I know I said I wouldn't bring up Destiny again. There's a console version for the Taken King one. I think it might be the same one. It's all white and everything, too.
It's different. Like
it's different?
there is something different about it, I think. Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's got like a gold symbol on it or something. But that's cool because I was looking at images like see what it looked like, and I guess they're just because just Destiny and Sony are so wrapped up in each other that it makes sense. I guess they'd have a
totally.
Yeah, and that's for $4.99 for it's 500 gigs. Ah, they need to make it a terabyte.
Yeah, they've been bundling everything though. Did you see they had the Arkham Knight bundle, they had the Last of Us remastered bundle. Like they're doing a lot of bundling, and I'll tell you, I think it's helping their sales.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. It only makes sense. And those are some of the. I mean, I think Last of Us comes with every PlayStation, like no matter what you get.
Yeah,
right?
I think now it is standard. I think.
Yeah, it's standard, which is cool. That they need to go back to that, like how when you bought a Super Nintendo, you got Super Mario World.
Yeah.
It was just that was expected. When you got a Nintendo, you got Mario and Duck Hunt. That was cool. Go back to that. Like put one of your big, and not just like a shitty game, put one of your big contenders. Like Destiny's a huge contender. Last of Us is a huge contender. Like those are massive games. Batman is a massive game, even with some of its problems. It's not like, a smaller whatever game. It's like, this is a AAA game. Microsoft needs to do that. Why not bundle Halo? Or at least the collection.
Yeah,
throw the collection in there or whatever, so that here's the last however many Halo games and prepare you for next week.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, that's shitty.
Yeah, well.
All right. Take back what I say about Microsoft. But yeah, we talked about the upcoming schedule. The EA was at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
And Blizzard 6 a.m. Like you said, the WoW expansion reveal is at noon. Call of Duty has something at 1. What?
Yeah. On Thursday, though the expansion is on Thursday. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's weird. But yeah, we'll talk about all that next week. A lot of that news. The Blizzard I'm kind of interested about. Call of Duty, okay. But yeah, so that's cool. Some comic book stuff. Have you read any?
I'm caught up on all the Secret War stuff. Yeah.
Oh, nice. I did read. I caught up with the Civil War stuff. Probably will wait a week or so to talk about it all because I need to get it all in my head because they are so mixed up now.
Because a lot of them. Like a lot of last week's stuff took place before the week before and so on. Yeah.
Right. Oh yeah. But I did read a series that I've never read before, and I thought was super good. Kingdom Come.
Oh, the DC.
The DC Kingdom Come.
Yes.
With Alex Ross.
Yes.
Sorry, I take a drink there real fast.
That's all right.
But yeah, dude. It was like 4 issues long. And I've always heard how good it was. It was kind of like, I guess, just a little history of it. It came about because of Marvels, which was a comic Alex Ross did with Marvel. It was about a reporter kind of getting the ground story news of these superheroes. And usually Marvel comics you're in the perspective of the superhero, where this was a perspective on the ground level, and you were seeing these Marvels. And it was Alex Ross, so it's all paintings and stuff. Then he leaves Marvel and he goes to DC, and he does the same kind of art there, and he tells the story. Now you're seeing it in the as a perspective. Oh, I forget his name, but you see it as like a human's perspective, and you do get the perspective of the heroes and whatnot, but you kind of seeing it at the ground level. And I don't want to spoil anything. I don't want to go too much into it, but it is really good, and it's this alternate universe basically where Superman retires. And heroes are kind of left on their own to do their own thing. And when Superman retires, a lot of the other heroes retire. And you eventually get this problem where there's a lot of superheroes. There's more and more and more than there ever were. They don't really have anyone leading them, like Superman. That's kind of what he does. He does kind of lead them. He gives, to quote the movie, something to strive for. And with him out of the picture, there's not someone checking them, kind of like with Watchmen. There's not someone like, hey, we shouldn't do this. We should maybe not do that. And so it goes in, and it goes into it, and it actually gets really deep, weirdly, about like why these characters are there, and it just, I won't go too far into it, but go read it. It's really good. The art is amazing.
The art's beautiful.
It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful, and the story is really good too. So, it was in 1996 when it was made. So it's an older comic, but it looks beautiful, and I can't say enough about it. So that's pretty much. I read that, and then, like I said, the Secret Wars stuff. So I'm excited about what's coming up. Was there any comic book news this week?
Just one thing. Bendis teased a second Iron Man book for the all-new lineup.
So what does that mean?
I don't know.
So I don't know if they don't have enough. Not that many people buy Iron Man to begin with, but to give him 2 titles?
Yeah. Well, pre-orders for the Invincible Iron Man are huge, apparently.
I think it's because of the mystery of who Iron Man is actually going to be.
I guess.
I don't think it's because, like, I don't know. Tony Stark. I think Marvel's been pushing him in the comic book world because how big he is in the movies, but to me it doesn't play off the same way in the comics.
It hasn't translated. Like the Iron Man series have not been that great. Like they haven't had the numbers either. Like they just, I don't know. But
Yeah. Yeah. So it's gonna be interesting. What are some of the? Here we got some of the Secret War stuff. I think it's Civil War 2 is coming out this week.
Ooh, yay.
Age of Apocalypse 2 is Spider-Man Renew Your Vows 3, I think, is dropping this week.
Good.
The Giant Size Little Marvels number 3, if you got kids.
Those are fun. Even if you don't have kids, they're fun.
Oh yeah. I read them, both of them, and I somehow bought 2 of them, and I gave one to my nephew, and he absolutely loved it. Ripped off the cover immediately for some reason, and I was like, okay, well, I guess that's expected. He didn't really mean to. He was just super excited, so I was like, I can't blame him. But yeah, he loved it, and my brother read it to him, and he really liked it. Guardians of Nowhere number 2 comes out this week. Siege 2.
Nice.
Yeah, and I think that's it for Marvel. There's a few Ultimate End number 4, which, if you want to explain to me what the hell is going on to that, I have no idea. I think I need to reread those from start to finish.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm completely lost. Let's see what's coming out in DC this week. We got Batman Beyond number 3. Which is a new Batman Beyond. It's not what's his face? Terry.
It's not Terry? Okay.
Yeah, no, it's what's his name? The third Robin.
Tim Drake.
Tim Drake, yeah. Which is different. He's pissed off a lot of people, but Detective Comics number 43. We got Batmite number 3. Green Lantern 43. I've been liking the Green Lantern series. Let's see here. Some other big one. No. Damn. It is a short week for comics. Constantine the Hellblazer number 1.
Well, that's getting re-released, isn't it?
Is it re-release? Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm looking at, that's... Damn, there's not... Midnighter number 3. I haven't read any of the Midnighter. Starfire number 1. No, that's second print. Yeah, dude, it is... Holy shit, it is a short week.
Wow.
Let me see what's coming out for Image. Let me see anything cool that I'm reading.
Yeah, because that's not a lot.
Yeah. I've been catching up on Sex Criminals. I'm a little bit behind. The new one came out last week.
Okay.
So I'm catching up on that. And like they had some crazy. I don't know if you saw it. They had like where you buy the comic and they don't want you to see the cover to spoil something. Yeah. And so on some of them they put a giant dick.
Of course they did.
And it's like it looks like the cover of Mario, and so it's like a mushroom. I won't go into too much detail, but it's I don't know how they got away with it, but it's really funny. It's really just the mushroom guy, whatever, the not toadstool, but the little guys you jump on. Goomba, yeah, it's a little Goomba, but it's all screwed up. But yeah, like they have a bunch of variant covers, which is really cool. But man, that series is so great. Wicked and the Divine. Let's see here. What are some other ones? No, I mean nothing that I'm picking up from Image is coming out this week. Jupiter Circle #5. They just have so much cool random stuff. Sometimes I want to just pick up one of them from #1 and start.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
I'll tell you one that's really weird and awesome, and told a story, and then it started retelling it. And it's God is Dead. It's Jonathan Hickman's God is Dead, which when you start a thing with Jonathan Hickman's, you know you're in for a ride.
Right.
But it ran for like 30-some issues, and like he didn't write all of them. Like it was his concept, or he started it or something, but he didn't do the whole run. And then it got to like, okay, this story has a conclusion. Like a very definitive conclusion.
Oh, wow.
But it ends with to be rebooted. And the next issue, they still carry on the same numbers. But it just starts over. And they've gone in a different direction with it. And this direction is really weird. But it's an interesting story. And I would recommend pick up the first few and give it a try. Because it has some weird cycles to it, but it all fits together. It's really interesting.
Yeah, no, I'll check it out. What was it called again? God
is Dead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And it's not just like singular, like you would think. Like it's it brings every mythology into the mix.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll check it out. You know what I started reading? Oh, I totally forgot. Afterlife with Archie.
Oh, yeah, I think you were talking about that last week.
Yes. Oh, my God. Go read that, man. It is. I don't know why I'm in love with this Archie stuff. Like, it came out of left field for me a few weeks ago, and I just like, hey, let's check it out. I'm really enjoying it, and Afterlife with Archie stuff is fantastic. You know, like, it starts out with, like, Serena. I didn't know Serena and the Teenage Witch is involved in the Archie universe. But apparently she is.
Okay.
I had no idea. I guess they live in the same world. And it starts off like, Jughead or whatever, his dog dies, and he doesn't know what to do. And he thinks maybe Serena can help. Selena. Am I saying her name wrong?
Sabrina.
Sabrina, yeah. Sorry, Sabrina. That could help him. And she's like, it's too far gone. He's not, I could probably help if he was on death's doorstep, but he's gone. And I love the quote, and he goes, sometimes dead is better. Dead is dead. Sometimes dead is better. And, that's from, the Pet Cemetery.
Yeah.
I don't know if you caught that, but yeah, it was great. And so like, it gets as crazy as you imagine it would get, trying to bring a dog back from the dead, and it's kind of what just jumpstarts everything, and it's fantastic. I love the art in it. It's very Halloween. Like, if you want to hold off on something to read for Halloween, read Afterlife with Archie. It's all orange and black, and the colors are great. It's fantastic.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's so different. Like, you don't need to know anything. You kind of get the idea. Archie's, it's his town, and he kind of speaks like you would imagine him to. And same with Jughead. I don't remember if Archie was even in the first one. I think it was just like Jughead and Sabrina. But yeah, it's good. Check it out. It was one of my favorite things reading this week. But yeah, do we got any more news? I think that's it. No. We got some reviews.
Yeah.
All right, so you go. Oh, you read Armada.
Yeah, let me talk about that last, because I'm going to actually talk about.
Okay.
The other thing that I did this week, I'm just going to say like very little about, because I think that's all that should be said about it.
Yeah, I'm surprised, honestly.
Yeah. Hey, I always said that I would never pay to see this movie, and I didn't. I didn't steal it. None of this. I just thought, what would happen if, like, I just walked into the theater and just kept walking? Who's going to stop me? Who's going to say something? Like, what's going to happen? Not a word. Not one word. There was nobody in the lobby. This isn't like I'm sneaking through a crowd or something.
How does that happen? Like, I walk into AMC and that you can't get past. It all brings you to one point where you can't get past.
Because they sell. This is like a local-ish kind of place. It's not a big chain. And so they're like, hey, for most of the day, we're going to sell our tickets at the concession stand.
Yeah.
So it's like, so I'm like, okay. So I just walked in and like whoever was there at the register kind of looked up and I just waved and they waved and I kept walking. And so I was like, okay, I've walked clear on back here. I need to pick one before they figure it out. And that one was like 3 theaters down. And I'm like, you know what? I would feel bad about going into any other movie playing right now.
Yeah.
Not this one.
Yeah.
I'm just going to walk right in here. And that's what I did. And I walked in and I sat. And for a minute after this atrocity of a motion picture ended, I thought, I want my money back. And then it hit me like, oh, duh, genius. And I was like, no, now I really want my money back. I didn't even pay to come in here because they just let me walk on by. But I still want a refund. Like, it's terrible. It sucks. And that's all I'm going to say about it. Like, it is.
Yeah, that's what I heard. People thought,
yeah,
hey, it's got things from my childhood.
No.
And, yeah, it's
Run away. Run away. Very far, very fast. Run far, run fast.
Yeah, that's what I heard. But yeah, no, you should have paid and went and saw Vacation. I heard it was good.
Now I'm hearing mixed things.
Oh, really?
I'm seeing more reviews come out from actual publications, and they're like, yeah, like it's all gross out humor, and that's it. Where, like so many others were like, yeah, it's got gross out humor, but it works. And yeah. I mean, I think it kind of comes down to taste.
Did you see the Red Band trailer?
No.
Like, the stuff with the 2 kids? Like, that sold it for me, actually. Like, when I saw the way the little brother treated the older brother, it really made me laugh. Like, just how shitty he made him feel. He like, slaps him in the face, and he's like, quit being a bitch. Like, it was just so funny. He was like, stop saying things like that. Like, he said some nerdy thing, and he just slaps him, and he goes, stop saying weird shit. I was just like, that's hilarious. Because you never see that. You always see the opposite. Yeah. Like, the little brother getting picked on. But he clearly is the dominant in that relationship. So I thought it was really funny. But yeah, it was a lot of gross. I mean, you see in the trailer where they're like swimming in shit,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think that's what it comes down to. Like, if that's not your bag, then you're really not gonna like this movie.
Right, exactly. Where they're just like, the original. Well, what I really liked about the original one is when Chevy Chase would just. The way he would react to things, and he wouldn't say anything. You would just see it in his face and the way he would his eyes would light up, and just how he would react to just weird situations. The whole driving and the whole car thing with the girl. Now it's just completely out of, they do it every time. But just there was nothing said. It was just his reaction to it, and it was kind of like the everyday man. Like, that's how you would react. Like,
totally.
And that's what made those films funny. Just like I said, one of my favorite things from the Vacation films is from Christmas Vacation, where the uncle comes in and he's was it Randy or what's his name? It was remember. Randy Quaid.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. And hold on.
I haven't seen this in like 15 years, so I couldn't even tell you.
Right. So the uncle comes in and he's just balls to the wall crazy. Uncle Eddie. Played by Randy Quaid. And, he comes in and he kind of mutes off of Clark, and he's kind of like, he gets him to buy all of his Christmas presents and everything else, and he does, because of brother-in-law. But when they're at Walmart shopping, and he's like, hey, I understand you don't got some money. I'll get you and the kids Christmas presents. Don't worry about it. It was a really nice thing he did. He's like, okay. He pulls out a list, and it's like a whole. It's just like a giant list of stuff that their family wants, and hands it to him. And he's like, okay. And they're putting things in the cart. And he puts in a giant bag of dog food because he brought his dogs with him, or his dog with him. He slaps a whole thing of dog food, does another one. So he's on vacation buying 4 giant bags of dog food. And then Clark he grabs a light bulb and places it on top of the dog food. He throws another bag on top and just squishes the light bulb. And they just keep walking. And Clark just gives this weird look, but they keep talking. They don't stop for a minute. It's those little moments,
Yeah.
like that made it funny. It wasn't just gross out humor. I don't remember any gross out humor in that film. From a lot of them, there wasn't really gross out humor. It was just how they were reacting to things.
Yeah.
But yeah. So sorry.
And now I gotta go back and rewatch these because it's been so long.
Oh yeah, Christmas Vacation is by far my favorite. I at least watch that like once a year, and it never fails. Just Uncle Eddie. It's too bad Randy Quaid went crazy and moved to Mexico.
We talked about art imitating life.
Yeah, he literally went Uncle Eddie. Him and his wife. But man, that's such a good film. That is so funny. But yeah, watch for that scene where they're at Walmart, put stuff in the cart, and you'll see it's so simple. You miss it if you're not paying attention. And let's face it, most people watching movies these days, they're on their phones, they're on their iPads, they're not paying attention, they're trying to talk to you. That's one thing you would totally miss, just not paying attention. Like, oh shit, he just squished his light bulb, the single light bulb he put on there. And they didn't miss a beat. They just keep walking, and he doesn't mention it. He doesn't say anything, and it's just great.
Nice.
But yeah. So don't go see Pixels.
No. Don't.
So yeah, let's talk about Armada, man, because I've read a little bit of this book, but Destiny is a fucking drug that I need. it's I feel like I'm in the crack house, like, what are we gonna do for some more?
Yeah.
I'm totally addicted to it. Probably gonna play some when I get out of here, but
Nice.
But yeah, tell me about Armada, man.
Armada's awesome. Background for anybody. Armada is Ernest Cline's second book. He wrote Ready Player One, and there's still a lot of that influence in Armada. It's still very pop culture driven. Like, that's the whole point of this. It's like, hey, what if? And this much isn't really a spoiler because it's like in the first 25 pages, and it's like, hey, what if, we have like all of this pop culture. Like, we have Star Wars and Star Trek and, so on and so on. So the list goes on. And video games and so on and so on and so on. What if this whole thing was a giant conspiracy because we already knew aliens existed? Mm-hmm. And that turns out to kind of be the case. I'm not going to get into specifics or anything, but it's like, you can see when they set it up at the beginning, you're like, oh, well, of course, this is what's going to happen.
Right,
but
and that's kind of what the feel. Honestly, the first few pages I was reading of it, I was like, is this the plot of Pixels?
It's weird. This is like, it's kind of like Pixels in reverse.
Okay, yeah, exactly.
It's not like they patterned anything after our video games. It's like we patterned it after them. Okay, It's like that backwards. I had a great analogy, and I totally lost it because it's like, I don't have it anymore. I had it, but I don't have it. It's like Ender's Game meets Pixels in reverse.
Okay.
That's the best way I could like try to sell it. But it gets stranger a little bit. But it all ties really nicely. It's character driven, like Ready Player One was. I heard it's
cool cousin or its brother. Like
Yeah.
it's in the same vein,
Totally.
pretty much, and it knows its audience. It knows it's the same audience as Ready Player One.
Oh yeah.
It knows they're hungry for that, and so this isn't a sequel to Ready Player One, but it's like here's this other story that you might like if you like this.
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah, it's kind of like they play well off each other. It's like if you like Adventure Time, here's Rick and Morty. You know what I mean? Like here's another show in the same kind of vein.
That's a great way to put it. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I was really excited to read it. I want to kind of get another Ready Player One, but I was like, why not tell another story that can be its own thing? And who knows? It'll be its own series and go from there. Maybe they'll make that into a movie.
I'm telling you, this was tailor made for a movie.
Perfect.
Awesome. This would, by the time you get to the end of this, you'll think the same thing. You're like, this would make a movie. Ready Player One will make a strange movie.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard. Those kind of things. It's hard to. I don't know how they're gonna put it into one thing because that would make a great 10-episode miniseries or something. A longer, drawn out thing. But I don't know. I'm excited because of Spielberg. Like that was just a match made in heaven.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, and who knows? Maybe they do the other one. They here's Armada. Here's let's do that afterwards.
Yeah.
Don't want to get ahead of ourselves. But yeah, I need to jump back into it. I think I will because, this past week, just if you're counting and if you're doing a drinking game with Destiny, is probably the 7th time. But I've been playing that. So I did the Iron Banner. Now that's over with. I have some breathing room. So yeah, I'm probably going to jump back into that. And I got some time off this week. It's my birthday, so
nice.
So telling people last weekend that I wasn't busy kind of backfired because they realized I was off. So I'm and this weekend's my birthday, so I'll be a little busy, but I'm gonna jump into that. I think because I've read a little bit of it, and my problem is I'll start reading at night, and that's a bad idea for me because I'll get tired and go to bed. I need to start like 10 a.m. jump into a book and I won't be as tired and I'll be able to probably go through it.
Yeah.
But that's my problem with books. It's not like video games. Where video games I start at night, I can play, but with books I get tired for whatever reason and I'm out. Same with comics. I have to read comics kind of in the middle of the day to really like focus and enjoy it and not because I total ADD if you can't tell, and my attention just all right on something else. But yeah, man.
Totally. Armada is excellent. Pick it up, buy it on whatever format you like, hardcover, Kindle, whatever. But yeah, totally. It's fantastic, and it's not a long read. It's like 300 pages. It's Ready Player One was thick. Ready Player One was a tome. Like that took a long time to get through. It wasn't like crazy longer, but it had Armada. Here's the thing, Cline learned from what kind of weighted down Ready Player One. So when he wrote Armada, he didn't put any of that in there. There's no filler with Armada, and that's what's great. It bounces along at a good pace, and you're not stalled anywhere.
Yeah.
So it's great. I love this book. It was fantastic. And I would recommend people start here. Read this. And if you're like, hey, I loved how they worked all the pop culture into it, then go to Ready Player One.
Yeah, no doubt. It was so strange how I got a hold of that book. It was this girl who she's not into, she makes fun of me for all the geeky stuff I'm in. Like, she doesn't even know how deep I am with geeky stuff, and she's like, hey Adam, have you heard of this Ready Player One? And I'm like, no. She's like, I'm reading this book, you would love it, it's about blah 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 blah. And I'm like, no shit, you're reading something like that and enjoying it? And she's like, yeah, that's kind of going to tell you it's really good because it's got my attention and I don't like any of that stuff. And man, was she right. Absolutely, I was hook, line, and sinker. So yeah, dude, I can't wait to jump back into Armada and give it an actual try this time and not doing it, after the show or something and getting tired. But well, speaking of getting tired, I'm not sure. Yeah, that's it. That's what we'll do is, if you haven't been to our Facebook page, we have updated our logo. My my good friend and family member Keenan helped us out with his logo, so I want to give him a shout out. I'm going to post it on our Facebook page, his actual website and whatnot, his company. So if you're interested, if you like it and you think, oh man, that's a dope looking logo, which we think it is, give him a heads up and let him know, and let them know if you're interested in any work. So, just wanted to mention that. So yeah, of course, our Facebook page is We Geek Podcast. You can go to our Twitter account. It's We Geek. It's at We Geek Podcast, and our email is wegeekpodcast@gmail.com. So yeah, give us a like, give us a poke, give us a share. Updated all the banners and stuff with it. We think it's really cool. But yeah, man, you got anything else?
Feedback on iTunes, ratings, reviews, especially.
Bingo, there you go. Give us some feedback, give us some reviews. It gets more people listening to it, more people seeing it, and yeah, that's it. Got a lot more to talk about next week. I will absolutely see a movie this time because it's planned, so I'm excited for that. So it's my birthday weekend, so I'll be probably doing a lot of that, probably drinking a lot of alcohol, I'm thinking. And I don't really drink that much anymore. Like, it's been years since I've gone out and let's party. So a few of my friends are in town, and so we're gonna have some fun. Got a designated driver, so don't worry about it.
There you go.
And
make
gonna
sure
be
it's
safe.
Yeah.
Honestly, what's going to happen, I'll tell you the truth. We're all going to go out. They're going to buy me shots. And after about an hour or two, I'm going to be like, I just want to go home. I don't want to be out anymore because I've become like an old man. So,
well, now you know how everyone playing the Destiny drinking game along with us has felt tonight.
Oh yeah. So that's just gonna keep on coming, man, because I am just head over heels with that game. Yeah. So yeah, if you've been, maybe we'll do that next time. We'll do a count. I'll do a little check mark how many times I bring it up. But yeah, man. So yeah, check us out. And we'll be here next week, same time, same channel. Captain.
Captain. Captain. Captain. Captain. Captain.